if I'm unable to work, then I won't be able to do the things that I want to do. But am I okay slowing down and realizing that maybe all of those things don't need to happen on the timeline that I, Jake, the identity, wants them to? Friday, July 10th, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I've been MIA for a couple days, working through some pretty intense symptoms, and I am curious about the way that I'm going to frame this with y'all because most of the world will just say you're getting sick or you got sick. And yes, I work with kids. There's a bunch of stuff going around and whatever. But I'm developing through this apprenticeship slightly different language to frame that which I'm experiencing. And so much shows up when we are forced to redirect or to slow down or to, you know, when the sensations and symptoms get really intense. And it's interesting because I find myself not trying to attach narrative or story or like labels to them. Oh, I've got a headache, or oh, this really hurts, or it's just like objectively, if I just try to witness the sensations that I'm experiencing. This is what Vipassana taught me, is that like, can I sit for 10 or 12 hours in meditation and just observe the sensations neutrally without becoming charged about them or emotionally invested in them in some way, but rather remain complete neutrality, equanimity in the face of whatever sensation arises. And so being able to label, oh, there's pressure building in the head and the temples and the shoulders. There's tension building in the chest. There is a bit of a roughness or soreness in the lymph and the throat. There is a perceivable lower energy in the body, like I don't have that rev or that output, and not attaching to this being good or bad, but of course it brings to the surface so many different narratives and stories and beliefs that I have about life and about myself and about my body and about money and about work. And getting sick or experiencing these densities, these slowdown symptoms, are a really great opportunity to reflect on that, because I've been working a lot. I've got the 3 jobs that are going full time, and when I am forced to slow down like this, it brought to the surface a lot of the different beliefs and also emotions, because honestly I'm learning to see that emotions are just here to tell us what we believe. They serve as like, that is a byproduct of the downstream of the belief that's up here. So I have a belief and it gives rise to an emotion, because if I didn't hold that belief, I wouldn't feel this emotion. Experiment with that yourself, but I've found it to be very enlightening and also perspective broadening to hold that, to look at any time you have an emotion, it's tied to a belief system, a structure, a template, a narrative, a story. And so despite the energy being a little bit more low and me needing to spend a lot more time slowing down, just breathing, being with the sensations, not medicating in order to escape it at all. Another one of my teachers says the pain teacher, right? Pain is always a teacher. Discomfort, challenge, it's always teaching us something. It's trying to communicate something typically. And it's only when we take the time to slow down and tune into that do we actually get a chance to learn from it or garner the insight, perspective, or lesson. So for me, the last 48 hours has been very intense on the symptom and sensation standpoint, very low on the energy and desire to do work. I've tried to get shifts covered, they haven't worked. And yesterday, this was kind of my homework for life, or my highlight. I was working with my dad and we were emptying an entire garden bed and then refilling it with new soil. And my dad was just speaking to me. He's like, hey, if your body's not feeling up to it, like, feel free to pace yourself or slow down or leave whenever you need. And I've walked through different seasons where there have been seasons where I've needed to learn how to honor my body and not push when it's not necessary, because it's like I need to realize that my body knows best and I can honor that and be more intuitive and more flowy and these things. And I've also had David Goggins 75 hard seasons where I'm like, I need to learn mental resilience and that my body isn't always telling me the truth and that I need to like fully just commit to it. But in this, in this moment, I recognize that the thought that came through is that even though I'm low on sleep and I feel a little bit under the weather, I'm imagining all these new parents that I have in my life. It's like, what's it must be like to be a father who's constantly under resourced or who has low on sleep, is around a child all the time, and is then needing to show up for his family, for his work, and all of these different things. You might not feel the best all the time, but you're still choosing to show up. And can I develop that capacity here in this moment working with my dad? Yeah, sure. I'll still show up even though things aren't perfect internally. And yes, my body might need more rest, but I'll give it that opportunity in a couple hours. And whether or not you agree with this, I think there are different seasons in our lives and different experiences to train different subsets of characteristics that we want to develop and access more frequently. And for me, that was one of them. So this is just my check-in highlight. Doing that work or that homework for life was that moment with my dad. The highlight was when I was laying in bed sick. My sister-in-law came over and she just left a tea and a banana outside my room. And she just said, hey, didn't even open it, didn't come in, anything, just a text. Thinking of you. Hope you get feeling better. Put this stuff outside the door for you. And I just thought that was very sweet to be in that thoughtful frame of reference. And the challenge has been navigating the desire to continue to work, because I realize how tightly I'm gripping to paying off debt, to all these different, potentially getting into real estate, into getting back down to Costa Rica for ceremony, and the investments associated with each of those. If I'm unable to work, then I won't be able to do the things that I want to do. But am I okay slowing down and realizing that maybe all of those things don't need to happen on the timeline that I, Jake, the identity, wants them to? Reflections from Jake's brain on July 10th. Ciao.